Rain drizzled over the small cafe window that evening, tracing tiny rivers down the glass. The soft hum of conversation blended with the smell of freshly brewed coffee and baked croissants. Inside, a young woman sat nervously at a corner table, glancing at her phone for the 10th time in 5 minutes. Her name was Lena Brooks, 27, wearing a thrifted navy blue dress and clutching a second-hand purse that had seen better days. Her fingers fidgeted with the strap as she tried to calm her racing heart. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Her best friend had convinced her to try a blind date, said the man was nice, well-mannered, and a little mysterious. But as Lena waited, surrounded by the laughter of couples and the warmth she couldn't afford to buy, she wondered if this was a mistake. She wasn't the kind of woman who went on dates anymore. Life had hardened her. After her mother passed away 2 years ago and her little brother's medical bills piled up, she'd worked 2 jobs, one at a grocery store and one cleaning offices at night. Love wasn't on her list, survival was. Just as she was about to leave, the door opened and in walked Ethan Hale. Tall, calm, with neatly combed dark hair and a trench coat that looked like it belonged in a magazine. He scanned the room, his gaze gentle but searching, until it landed on her. "Lena," he asked, smiling. She nodded, her breath catching. "Ethan." His voice was deep, steady, and disarming. "Sorry I'm late, the rain didn't make it easy to find parking." "It's okay," she said softly, hiding the fact she'd been there for 35 minutes already. They sat. The conversation started awkwardly, like 2 strangers trying to peel back walls built from years of loneliness. But soon, something in Ethan's voice made Lena laugh, an easy, unguarded laugh she hadn't heard from herself in a long time. Ethan was charming but kind, confident, without arrogance. He asked about her favorite books, her dreams, her brother. And though she tried to keep her answers short, her eyes began to shine as she spoke about wanting to become a teacher, about the nights she read stories aloud to her sick brother so he could forget his pain for a while. He listened, really listened, and the way he did made her feel seen for the first time in years. When the waiter brought the check, Lena's heart dropped. Her stomach twisted. She had completely forgotten about the bill. She reached into her purse, pretending to search for her wallet, but she knew she didn't have enough even for the latte she ordered. "Everything okay?" Ethan asked gently. She smiled weakly. "Yeah, I think I left my..." He raised a hand, smiling softly. "Hey, it's on me." Her eyes widened. No, I can't." "You can," he said simply, "because it's not about the bill, it's about good company, and tonight I had that." Her chest tightened. She didn't know if it was embarrassment, gratitude, or the sudden warmth in her chest that made her eyes water. "You don't even know me," she whispered. "I'd like to," he said quietly. Outside, the rain had stopped, but her heart was still trembling. When he offered to walk her to the bus stop, she hesitated, then nodded. Under the soft glow of the streetlights, he held his umbrella over her, keeping her dry even as he got wet. They laughed about nothing and everything until her bus arrived. "Will I see you again?" he asked. She bit her lip. "You really want to?" He smiled. "I haven't wanted something this much in a long time." The bus pulled away, leaving him standing in the rain, but something in his eyes said he wasn't just a stranger anymore. The next few days, Lena couldn't stop thinking about him. His calm tone, his laughter, the way he looked at her like she mattered. But there was one thing she didn't know: Ethan Hale wasn't just a kind stranger. He was one of the most successful young CEOs in the city, owner of a fast-growing tech company worth millions. And yet, the way he'd looked at her that night had nothing to do with money or status. It was something deeper. A week later, he texted her again. "There's a new cafe opening downtown. Maybe we could try that one. No bills this time, just you and me." She almost said no. She wasn't the type to belong in his world, but something in her whispered maybe she deserved to be seen, even just for a moment. Their second meeting felt different, easier. They talked for hours, not realizing how time flew. She told him about her brother's dream to walk again, and he told her about losing his own sister years ago and how that pain never really left him. "You remind me of her," he said softly, "strong, quiet, always carrying more than anyone should." Lena's heart ached. For once, someone saw past her poverty, past the tiredness in her eyes, and saw the woman who still dared to hope. When the cafe lights dimmed, he walked her home. But just as they reached her small apartment building, her brother's voice called from the window. "Lena, did you bring soup?" She smiled sadly. "Always." Ethan looked at the worn bricks, the flickering hallway lights, the broken mailbox. He didn't say a word, but something shifted in his expression, like he'd made a decision. Days later, Lena returned from work to find an envelope taped to her door. No name, just a card inside. To the girl who taught me that kindness doesn't ask for wealth. Keep believing in yourself, your dreams matter. Inside the envelope was a letter of acceptance for a scholarship to a teacher training program she'd once applied to but never expected to get. Tears filled her eyes. She called him, but he didn't pick up. She texted, "Ethan, what did you do?" Hours later, he replied, "Just something I could afford to do for someone who gave me back faith in people." Months passed. She completed her training, and on her graduation day, she spotted him at the back of the hall wearing that same soft smile from the cafe. When the ceremony ended, he walked up to her slowly, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "Still your favorite caramel latte," he said. She laughed through tears. "You remembered." "I remember everything about that night," he said, "especially how it changed me." Then almost shyly he added, "So, can I take you to dinner? My treat again, but this time I want it to be us, not a blind date." Her heart trembled. "You really think we could work, Ethan? You're a CEO, I'm just..." He stepped closer, his voice barely above a whisper. "You're not just anything, you're the reason I stopped feeling alone."